Welcome back, everyone. Today we are at the jointer, which is this machine right here. This machine is the second step along the way when we're talking about squaring our boards. So before we can do any kind of woodworking, the four big tools that we've been talking about so far is our planer, our joiner, our table saw, and our chop saw. And step two is the jointer. Now what does this machine do? This machine gives wood a nice flat edge. So step one was give it a nice flat surface with the planer. Step two is give the boards a nice flat edge that is perpendicular or 90 degrees to that flat surface we made on the planer. I have a few examples I'm going to show you as we get started here on this short video. So let me bring in those examples now. Here is the piece of wood we ran through the planer. Just in our last video. And now what we want to do is we want to make sure that this edge right here is perfectly flat. That way we can use other reference planes like the fence on the table saw or the fence on the chop saw to square up our other edge and also give us nice clean edges to this piece of wood. So in review, we have a surface, an edge here, an edge here, end grain on the ends. And this machine, like I said, will be cutting the edge here. Now, that's the purpose of the machine and the function. Some things to keep in mind when you're running this machine. It has an in-feed table and an out-feed table which make up the bed of the machine. This in-feed table is slightly lower. Let me bring you guys in a little bit closer so we can see the machine just a little bit better. Okay, something like right there. And like I said, this is the in-feed table, out-feed table, you have a fence. This is the cutter head guard. Underneath the guard, there is a cutter head with a bunch of teeth on it. It's very similar to our planer, except for instead of coming down from on top, this is actually in the bed. And you run the wood across the cutter head in this fashion, just like this. Because this table is just slightly lower than this table, about a 32nd of an inch, the material that you're removing is the difference between this table and this table. So as it cuts, it's chipping away just about a 32nd of an inch, and it comes to a completely flat rest over here. And you can see this board has a little bit of a rock to it. There's a hump in it. Here is an extreme example of a board with a hump in it. You guys can see this big curve right here. This is the side of the wood you want to put down to the table, just like this, because as you can see, there's a big gap here between the wood and the table. And as you run this across, it'll take a little bit off the front and a little bit off the back until eventually, if you do enough passes, it'll eventually cut all the way across and you have a perfectly flat, smooth edge to that board. Now, when you use this machine, some of the safety things you need to be aware of are that if this board is lower than your fence, you don't want to have your hand in here, which is about 4 inches. You always want to keep your hand out of the way using a push stick, like you can see here. So when I run this across, there's a danger zone that you don't want to have your hand, and that's directly over the cutter head. And as I'm running across, my left hand will be stationary here against the fence, and my right hand will be doing the pushing. And then when I get to a certain point, I'm going to let go with my left hand, transfer it above or beyond the cutter head. And then because I don't want to have my hand close to that blade at all, I'm going to use a push stick and push it through just like that. This machine also can cut bevels, like if I wanted to put a chamfer or a bevel on this piece of wood right here. You can tilt this at different degrees. Right now it's currently set at 90 degrees to this table, and that's what we want. Let me make sure I didn't miss any of our main points here. The depth of the cut is already set. We have nuts and bolts that hold this table in place, so this machine doesn't get adjusted very often. Our workpiece needs to be at least 12 inches long. This one is, I think, 2 feet long, so that's good. If it's too short, it's going to wobble back and forth, and it's just dangerous when you get your hands closer than that. Let's see here, did I miss anything? Make sure you're balanced and you're not going to slip into you're not going to have your feet slip out from under you, or you're not going to fall into it. Make sure it's clear of wood chips. Make sure that you have no wood chips or debris between your table and your fence and your wood when you're running it through. That's really important. Once again, the cup side should go down. I want to re-emphasize that right here. The cup side right here needs to go down to the table. If you don't, you're going to get the rocking horse effect, and as you push it through, that board's just going to keep cutting and cutting. It's never going to get a flat edge. It's going to continue to be the rocking horse. Lastly, I think I want to tell you guys is never cut the end grain. Never stand this board up like this and run it through. There's other machines that we can get this edge squared up with, not the joiner. It'll blow out, it could grab and throw your wood back. The kickback danger is fairly high on this machine because unlike the planer that has automatic feed rollers, you're going to be pushing this through under your own power. If for some reason you decide to let go right here, there's a high chance that that blade could catch this wood and kick it back. Just like the planer, we want to make sure that we're free of glue, nails, other material in our wood, knots, things like that. Anything that's less than 1/4 inch thick, just like the planer, we do not run on this machine. Anything less than 1/4 inch thick. So if you're down here and you're planing, this piece right now is probably 2.5, 2 inches thick, this way across. So when I set that up there, I'm not down close to the blade at all. The reason why is because it's probably going to blow apart when you have that really thin wood. Let's see if I missed anything. Okay, I'm going to demo it, and you guys can watch how I do this, and most importantly, watch my hand movement as I move it. Make sure the guard is over the cutter head at all times. Make sure your hands never get on top of the cutter head. You saw as I pushed through, I transferred from pressure behind to pressure in front, and then continued pushing with my right hand. All right. Thank you for watching our joiner video. Hope this helps.